sun rose this morning. Dark skies pronounce your warning. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Hold on, the floor is caving. Your walls turn into cages. Your refuge will be your demise. Dances with the devil. Your power isn't special. We don't fit on your canvas. We burn it all to ashes now. 'Cause we are the outlaws.
You know, you're not a good cinematographer, right? You're nothing compared to Carlos Stigliano, Ryan Ko. Those are great cinematographers. You? Nah, you don't got the skill set they do. When creating this short film, I really got the idea and I got inspired by watching fellow cinematographers on YouTube. Great cinematographers like Carlos Stigliano, Ryan Ko, Brady Bessett. Watching these guys on YouTube and watching them post the work that they do truly inspires me to improve my skills as a videographer. And sometimes with consuming all of their content, I sometimes fall into a place of discouragement. I fall into a place of self-doubt. And initially, I wanted to make a short film about mental health regarding comparison. Now, with this short film, it can be taken in any direction that the viewer wants to take it. It doesn't have to really regard just comparison. It's about mental health as a whole, whether it be that you compare yourself a lot as a videographer, or if you're a lady and you just feel ugly, or if you're a guy and you feel uninspired, whatever it may be. I wanted this video to touch a broad of audience. I didn't want it to just target specifically videographers. Though the concept is about videography, I feel like everyone who deals with comparison or mental health can really consume this content and relate to it, and that's what I was going for. This entire project took me about a week to film, only because in Florida right now it's been raining literally every single day. So trying to find a day to where it wasn't raining to get the outside shots that I needed was pretty difficult. Just like any other short film that you make, I started out with the shot list, and the shot list took me about 3 hours. It didn't really take me too long. I was kind of just more playing around with the colors. My main thing that I focused on was the look and the colors of what did I wanted this project to make you feel. And I feel like it's essential when you're creating short films to already figure out the look and the colors that you want, because the colors can portray the mood and they can make your audience feel a certain way. And that's something that I really wanted to hone in on doing this project. So after the script was written, I didn't really take long to start it. I wanted to jump on it immediately. And the first scene that I did was the car scene at nighttime. Now with that look, I wanted to be a moody, moonlight, dark, depressed in a car, just thinking about your life type of vibes. And essentially, the one day that I needed it to rain, it didn't rain. So with that scene, since I filmed this entire project by myself, what I did was I took a gallon of water and just dumped it all over my front windshield and my side window. It wasn't enough water to make it look like as if it was actually raining. That was the only bummer. I really preferred and wished I had a hose and I had somebody just spraying my car as I was filming, but I didn't have that luxury. I did all this by myself, so I was really limited to my resources and I had to make work with what I had. I think it came out pretty decent. I do wish that there was a little bit more water just so you can see the raindrops a little bit more, but for what it is, I think it came out pretty good. That scene was shot on the Sony 85mm lens. I primarily only use my 85 whenever I want tight, detailed shots like that, so I knew the 85 was going to be good, plus I was in a low light situation, so that 1.8 really came in handy. So to light the car scene, what I use, I just honestly just use this basic cheap $20 RGB light that I bought on Amazon, and it's not the best. It's not like the Amaran 300C where you have two dials on it. You can adjust the brightness and adjust the RGB. This LED light, it comes with these little like panels that you gotta slide in and out the light in order to change the colors. It's actually that light right here. The light you see here in the video, it was that light. And it just, as you can tell, it's not the brightest, but it got the job done. Now, honestly, probably one of my favorite scenes besides that was the bathroom scene. That scene, I was in full control of what it is and how I want it to look. But that vibe, I really was going for a greenish, bluish, turquoise, moody type of tint. I wanted to feel like a scary movie in a way, and I think with the look that I got from it, I'm pretty well pleased with it. So right here for the bathroom scene, I got my bathroom, I got my FX6 rigged up right here. I'm going for like more of a greenish color. So I have this little cheap light that I bought from Amazon for like 20 bucks, I think, a long time ago. It's really trash. You have to use these little filters I'll show later in order to change the colors. So I plan on buying a better tube light, but this is the setup that I have right now. I have it on a photography light stand, extended out over my head because I'm going for like a dark, moodier, depressed look, since this whole video is about mental health. And this is my bathroom. It's small. There's not a lot of space, so it was kind of difficult. I originally had the light stand in the bathtub, but it was hitting against the curtain up there and it just wasn't working out. So I'm gonna have to improvise and re-switch the angles. I was trying to get a straight on angle, but now I'm gonna have to go for a more of a profile, side profile angle. Moving on to the outside shot of me hitting the tree. That shot wasn't really planned. That I actually came up with that shot when I was editing. I was in post-production and I just didn't have enough footage, and I essentially needed more footage, so I went back to my shot list and just started adding more stuff and just getting brainstorming ideas of thinking, okay, what does a person do when they just keep getting these thoughts in their head? Like when they're angry, how do they react, and what is their initial thoughts and how would they be feeling? So I thought, you know what, maybe get a shot of me hitting a tree and angry. Just at this point, I'm not even sad, I'm just angry because these thoughts won't leave me alone. So when filming that, God was on my side because it wasn't raining, and on top of that, it was really cloudy outside. It was moody. There was like not one source of sun at all outside, so it helped me form the video, the film, the way I wanted to. I still wanted to maintain that green, dark, moody feel, and I was able to achieve that, thank God, because it was overcast and the clouds were kind of dark as if it was already going to storm. So that really helped me, and I feel like it really enhanced the look that I was going for, essentially. Another scene that I don't really know how I feel about it, I added it because I feel like it fit the vibe, but it's not saying it's a bad scene, but it was my least favorite, and it was the pretending to be drunk scene. I used the FX6. This entire video was shot on the FX6. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but it was shot on the FX6. I used a Sigma 24-70, a 35 G Master, and an 85. Primarily, all the bathroom scenes were done on the 35, and it was done on 24-70, but it was used at the 70mm focal length. The outside shots were also on the Sigma 24-70, but they were all at the 50. But the drunk scene, that was at 24, and essentially, if you don't know or you don't have an FX6, it has shutter angle. So my shutter angle was set to 180, but for that scene, to get the blurry, slow motion, stutter effect, I had to set it at 3 frames per second, I believe. I set it pretty high up there in order to get that effect. And really the reason why I say it wasn't my favorite, because the original shot that I had that didn't make it into the film was me pretty much laying in bed or even sitting at a kitchen table with like a book and a coffee, and I was gonna have like tequila bottles all over the table sprouted out, but I just didn't have time to be able to do that. And it's just, I just felt like me getting out there and just being drunk rather than just having a sitting down scene, because a lot of scenes prior to that were just me sitting down and standing still. I wanted more movement, I wanted more action. So that's why I kind of scrapped the idea of me sitting down at a table or me laying in a bed with tequila bottles all over the place. I mean, I don't think the shot was bad, but again, it just wasn't my favorite. But I do think it kind of fit the vibe of the story in a way. It had its purpose, you know. Now the last scene, which is the first idea that I even had for this short film, it was me sitting at a lake. Now, believe it or not, I live in Florida and there's a lot of lakes and swamps and oceans everywhere. But for me to find a lake that wasn't flooded with people was pretty insane. I tried to hit numerous different lakes and there was always a crowd of people there. For this scene, I knew I wanted nobody to be there because I wanted to give off the impression that I'm alone. I feel depressed and the person that's in my head is talking to me and driving me crazy. I didn't want people walking in and out the frame. On set for the last location of my short film, I got a beautiful lake. This is going to be the scene. Look at that alligator. Look. On set, and literally this is what happens when you live in Florida. Literally alligators come out of nowhere. But I'm still gonna film this location. I'm not gonna let it stop me. I might add it in the film now. Now I got the alligator here. But this is my rig. This is my setup, the FX6 24-70. I was gonna wait for sunset, but I don't think there is gonna be a sunset because it's been raining all day long and he's gonna be chilling there. So for this scene, it took me a couple days and a couple tries because again, the weather and the people was just my two biggest enemies for this entire project. So for this scene, I pretty much just mic'd myself up with a lavalier. I set my camera on a tripod and just did my whole take twice because I knew that I wanted to clone myself. And in order to clone yourself, if you don't know, you have to use a tripod and the camera has to be still. There can be absolutely no movement at all. Once you get that step down, it's fairly simple, it's fairly easy. It's not a long process to clone yourself. Yeah, so all in all, I really hope that you enjoyed the short film. I really hope that you found inspiration in it, and I hope that it inspired you to go out and create something yourself. I had a blast filming this, and I hope the message behind it really resonates with the right person. Even if it's just one person that this video could impact, I really hope it does.